Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing Coldplaygate, the moment Astronomer CEO Andy Byron and Chief People's Officer Kristin Cabot got caught having an affair with each other and completely embarrassed themselves in the process, and now are both suffering the consequences to their deceptive actions. And I just have to say that to me, it is absolutely mind-blowing that the CEO of a pretty successful startup company, literally the face of the company, would be so brave and ballsy as to pull a stunt like this. Talk about a PR nightmare for that company. And on top of that, he's sleeping with the head of HR. And this just proves that going viral isn't always a good thing. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. This whole situation got me wondering, is this the best way to expose cheaters, to reveal to a spouse that someone is cheating, a viral moment like this? Because since the dawn of who TF was I dating or did I marry, these types of exposing cheaters have gotten increasingly more popular. And with TikTok being such an easy platform to go viral on, we have to wonder, is this the best way to expose people like this? Ultimately, we have spouses and children sitting at home learning this news with us, a bunch of strangers. And I try to put myself in their shoes and imagine how I would feel with the most devastating thing that could happen in a marriage, not only happening to my marriage, but on blast for everyone to see. Andy and Kristin took the risk. They were out in public, cuddled up against each other. And then when the kiss cam flashed to them, instantly their fight or flight kicked in, and apparently they are flighters, these two. These aren't public figures or influencers. And when you think about it through the lens of an influencer, it's very interesting because oftentimes, especially lifestyle influencers, they invite people into their marriage by posting everything online, by sharing every intimate detail. And that builds up that parasocial relationship with their fans, making them want more and crave more, even the not so pleasant sides. But in this case, these people were not public figures. They didn't open their life up to everyone, yet their life went viral and people are here commenting. And the spouses back at home, and also Andy and Kristin, let's be realistic, didn't expect to have mass amounts of people weighing in on this situation. Specifically, the spouses at home who are suffering the heartbreak along with the humiliation of a viral moment. Well, they didn't ask for any of this. It's just food for thought, something to think about, because we do have other people involved in this situation. These two, I'm glad they're getting embarrassed and called out in such a public, humiliating manner. But the fact that Andy's wife had to then go and change her username on Facebook and ultimately deactivate her entire account, that's when I think that the costs of this kind of viral exposure do outweigh the benefits at that point.
Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
The fact that Chris Martin clocked this behavior instantly when they panicked.
Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Just proves how much of a guilty conscience both of them carried. The immediate panic, the duck down, I didn't know you could die from secondhand embarrassment. And after all of this went viral, the PR team actually tried to get the viral video deleted and scrubbed from the internet, which is one thing that you don't do when you're in a PR nightmare, especially after something's gone viral, because all you are going to do at that point is call more attention to it, which is something called the Streisand effect. They knew what they were doing was wrong, and they knew that they were going to get in trouble with this kind of exposure. But had they just kind of played it off, the funny thing is this likely never would have gone viral. If you really think about it, the only reason that it went viral is because people started speculating that they were having an affair. Had they just played it off, it is possible that it would potentially get back to the spouses, of course, but no one would really bat an eye except for that one person that goes, I think I recognize that guy or that girl. girl. And ultimately, their reaction gave them away and is what made them go viral. One big point of speculation, and this shows the more dangerous side of going viral, especially for something so negative and toxic and awful, people around you tend to suffer. First, we have the speculation that Alyssa Stoddard, who works with Andy and Kristin, was at the concert with them, and people were speculating that she was that red-faced girl standing all embarrassed next to them on the Jumbotron. I do want to add in that has been confirmed to be false. I have seen other YouTubers still post their videos saying that Alyssa was there, but there were a couple reports that I read that said that it was false. She was not there. That's not Alyssa Stoddard. The other fallout that we see following this viral moment with Andy and Kristin is the fact that Andy's poor wife had to actually change her name on Facebook. Originally, she only deleted her married last name, Byron, off of her Facebook, but later she fully deactivated her account because her DMs were blowing up and people were commenting on all of her stuff, pictures of the affair, stuff like that, which is way too far. This woman absolutely deserved to know that she was being cheated on, but to go and post such a humiliating moment in someone's life on their public Facebook, that's just too far. The wife and husband 100% deserve to know. But like that, with the rest of the world finding out already, it's kind of just throwing salt in the wounds. Actions have consequences. But it's really unfortunate when people surrounding the controversial couple or just the controversial person in general get dragged into it. That's where things go way too far. And it just makes the internet such a toxic cesspool. And I'd be lying if I said it didn't bring me a little bit of joy to know that Mr. Andy Byron here is actually suffering some consequences to his actions. By the next day, we learned that Andy was placed on leave and essentially suspended from work. And within a day from that, he handed in his letter of resignation and officially stepped down as CEO to Astronomer, which good. It's so nice to see him being held accountable for his actions and that the company Astronomer is taking this seriously. And the first few days after the viral moment, Astronomer was silent about the repercussions that Kristin was going to face. And people were kind of questioning, well, she was also cheating on her husband, and people were wondering why she wasn't suffering any consequences. And then it came out that she was suspended pending an investigation. And I just now checked if she had resigned since then because things are moving very fast in this story. It's pretty wild to watch. And I found this article here that I want to read with you guys. It says legal experts explain why Astronomer HR head hasn't been fired yet in real world ... While Byron's resignation seemed to demonstrate accountability, questions are being raised about why Cabot remains in her role and is still listed on the company's leadership page. Legal experts have shed light on why the HR executive embroiled in the viral Coldplay cheating scandal hasn't been terminated by her company yet. The controversy began last week when Astronomer CEO Andy Byron and HR chief Kristin Cabot were caught on camera at a Coldplay concert in Massachusetts. Wow. I am very proud of myself for saying that correctly the first try, sparking widespread attention after they were seen embracing and reacting to their appearance on the Jumbotron. Following the scandal, both Byron and Cabot were placed on administrative leave pending an internal investigation into their relationship and potential breaches of company policies. Later, Byron stepped down from his position and the company board of directors appointed COO Pete DeJoy as interim CEO. While Byron's resignation seemed to demonstrate accountability, questions are being raised about why Cabot remains in her role and is still listed on the company's leadership page. Attorneys explain why Kristin Cabot hasn't been fired. Although Cabot is currently on leave, legal experts suggest that liability concerns may be behind the company's decision to not terminate her publicly. Employment lawyers note that companies can't simply fire employees due to negative headlines, New York Post reported. In real-world big company, you can't just fire someone because headlines are ugly. There are contracts, internal investigations, and legal issues involved. If HR greenlit what happened with Coldplay and there is a supporting paper trail, heads will likely roll. It might take a few more days before the axe drops, said attorney Nicole Brennicke. Employment attorney William Caffaro believes terminating Cabot would be straightforward, but he suspects the company might be negotiating an exit agreement with her. Caffaro finds it hard to imagine Cabot continuing in her current role, hinting that a departure is likely imminent. If you were to look for a picture of cause for firing in the dictionary, it would show a picture of the head of HR having a public affair with the CEO of the company. What? Who is talking like this? That was silly. I mean, yeah, but still. Meanwhile, attorney Douglas Wigder speculated that there might be additional details about the relationship that aren't publicly known, which could influence the company's decision to keep Cabot on. He also noted that the outcome of the internal investigation will likely play a significant role in determining Cabot's future at the company. No doubt. So we're looking into it, and be patient. Maybe there's more to the story from her. That's possible, about how it came to be that they're at this concert and they're embracing. It's a short video, so it's hard to know what's exactly going on, Mr. Wigder noted. Legal experts also doubt Kristin Cabot's potential claim of sexual harassment against Andy Byron, her superior, unless she was coerced into the relationship due to a power imbalance, which is also an angle that we have to consider. He could have been threatening maybe her job or offering promotion for, a relationship, which is super unethical and stuff. But as it's continued to come out about Andy, he's never been a good boss. There are tons of ex-employees who have been coming out about the fact that he was borderline at most workplaces. Andy Byron, Astronomer CEO caught at Coldplay concert, allegedly lashed out and threatened employees at previous job. Multiple former employees said that Mr. Byron would lash out against employees who disagreed with him, including threatening to fire them, reads an expose about the cybersecurity tech company Cybereason, published on The Information, a tech and a business outlet. And then it comes out that he's also being accused of scamming staffers and walking away with millions at his previous company. So another former employee of Andy's did not hold back while recounting his experience under his leadership in a now viral TikTok video. If you think his marriage is the only thing Andy Byron ran into the ground, I've got a funny story about karma for you. He began setting the tone for a candid and critical revelation. The clip, which was also shared on Reddit, has since sparked widespread attention, adding fuel to the already growing fire surrounding the former Astronomer CEO Andy Byron. So let's go ahead and watch that viral TikTok that is just throwing Andy right under that bus.
If you think his marriage is the only thing that Andy Byron ran into the ground, then I've got a funny story about karma for you. Before being Astronomer CEO, Andy Byron was also Chief Revenue Officer of a different software company, where he hired a lot of hardworking, great people with high hopes for their careers by promising them the opportunity of a lifetime that would completely change their future, solve any financial worries their family or children might ever have. I also had the questionable privilege of being interviewed and hired by him. As you can imagine, he's very persuasive, considering he managed to convince his own chief people officer to go to a public concert while they were having an affair. He also convinced me and a lot of my former colleagues to join him in that company. He convinced investors to invest almost $2 billion. Myself and countless other employees invested their savings into employee stock options. And in a tale as old as capitalism itself, when the company went bust and was sold off for pennies on the dollar, him and other top-level executives left with golden parachutes worth millions of dollars, while low-level employees like myself and many of my colleagues lost tens and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars of their own savings. Two lessons out of this: if somebody promises a no-brainer opportunity of a lifetime, be very skeptical. And if you badly treat and take advantage of people, karma will at some point get you. And sometimes that karma is called Chris Martin of Coldplay. Viva la vida.
Viva la vida. I agree. That is really telling of Andy's character. And the discussions on Reddit were further fueling that vibe that you get from Andy. Yeah, this whole mess and the recent Titan submersible documentary have really cemented that your average CEO or admin official is there for their sociopathic tendencies. Working hard and having a good idea will never get you as far as lacking a sensitivity chip will. And someone's response, yep, that's why they hired him. Stockholders want CEOs that are ruthless psychopaths. The difference with this guy is he flew too close to the sun, and did he ever get burned? And he might not have been a public figure before this or had a very large social media presence, but he was still a very prominent, powerful person. And with that comes with people knowing who you are and knowing about you. And for so long, this man has been on such a power trip, and it finally caught up to him. And like that guy said, karma can be a real bitch sometimes, especially if you've been on this path of destruction. But you see a lot with rich, powerful, especially if they're white dudes, they get away with stuff like this and money buys them out of stuff. Just take the Diddy trials, for example. Money pays off. When you are rich and powerful, it's very hard to be served consequences, which is why it's so nice to see consequences actually being served up to Andy right now. I found that article about Kristin also very interesting, and why she might not have been fired quite yet. I'd be totally mortified. I'd never be able to show my face back in that workplace ever again. I think they're probably working out a deal for her to exit the building peacefully. And also, if there was any type of manipulation involved, which there's already a power imbalance, if Andy used that to his advantage, that will play into this exit package that they might be cooking up for her, or, not. But at the end of the day, I hope the other spouses are able to heal and come back from this. Please share your thoughts below. Do you think that this is a good way to reveal that someone is having an affair? Or do you think that the costs outweigh the benefits, especially if it goes mega viral like this did? I think these two got way too comfortable in their affair, and they were kind of waiting to get caught or playing with fire. And when you play with fire, you are bound to get burned. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.